Tracy Aviary. Do you mind just kind of backing up just a little bit so we can have this kind of pathway clear and you can kind of be right here in the shade, right here? Thank you very much. And we'll be having the macaws fly right over your guys' heads, and you have a front row seat. So, my name is Arnold, and I want to welcome you guys to our Meet the Macaw demo. And, of course, I want to go ahead and introduce you to our macaws. So we have 3 different species of macaws in our macaw exhibit. We have Picasso, who is our blue and gold macaw. She's 7 years old, and she came to us from a private breeder. Then we have Dolly and Da Vinci, and they are our great green macaws, also known as Buffon's macaws, and they are 3 years old, and they also came to us from a private breeder. And then we have Russo, who is a green winged macaw, and he is 1 year old, and he's been in Utah his whole life. He's a Utah native. He hatched right here at Utah's own Hogle Zoo, so he's been here his entire life. And then we have our last green winged macaw, who is Rembrandt, and Rembrandt is 2 years old, and he came to us from another zoo. Now, all these birds have some distinguishing macaw characteristics, and there's going to be 3 that I'm going to talk about today. And the first one is his really big beak. That really big beak is perfect for cracking into seeds, nuts, and thick-skinned fruits. In fact, look how fast he gets into these sunflower seeds. Look how quick he is. I've tried to race Rembrandt before in a sunflower seed eating contest, and he beats me every time. So he's really good at cracking into those sunflower seeds. Now, a macaw the size of Rembrandt has enough strength in his beak to snap a broomstick in half. So they're really strong, and they have that strong bite for breaking into those really hard nuts and fruits. But the part that impresses me is how dexterous he is with it. So you guys saw how fast he got into those sunflower seeds and got the seed out. So he's really good at using his tongue and lower mandible to break into those seeds. Now, one of my other favorite things to do is, when he finishes his snack over there, is watch what happens when I give him a grape. He's really dexterous at eating a grape too, so he's still enjoying them. Great back there. Yeah, remember it? So I want you guys to check this out. Whole grape. Now watch what he does with this bad boy. He's going to break into it. He uses his foot to help him. And then he gets all the juices out and doesn't eat the skin. He uses his lower mandible and his tongue, and he gets all the juice out, doesn't eat any skin, and then he drops, I like to joke, he drops grape shells, or just the skin of the grape, which I think is pretty funny. That's the way that he eats grapes. He doesn't eat the skin. So there you go. There you have it. He's really dexterous with eating those grapes. Now, the next macaw characteristic that I want to talk about is his really long tail. So you guys see how long his tail is in comparison to his body? It's about the length of his whole body. So having that real long tail is really important for these guys because it helps them steer around the rainforest. Now, look at his tail right now, and it looks like he's got 1 or 2 tail feathers, but then watch his tail when he flies back to me. Watch his tail when he flies. This is one of my favorite things about these birds. I think they're exceptionally beautiful birds in flight. Still enjoying a grape? Of course, he's just playing a practical joke on me. So every time I say watch when he flies, that's when he's going to take his sweet time. But you guys see his tail when he flew? The way that he fans that tail out, it's one of my favorite things about macaws. I think they're really beautiful birds in flight. And that tail's important because that tail helps them steer, it helps them slow down, and it even helps them generate lift. So a lot of the time, if a macaw were to lose their tail, they can lose the ability to fly altogether. So tails are very important, and it's actually an important adaptation to maneuver around the rainforest because having that long tail makes it so they don't crash into the branches and trees. So it helps them be really maneuverable when flying through the rainforest. Now the last macaw characteristic that I want to talk about is I want to talk about his face. So you guys see his face, how his face is white, and then he's got some like stripes, looks like red stripes on his face. When you come back, you get a better look at that. Their face, where it's white, is actually his skin color. And their skin is a lot like our skin. Their skin can get sunburned if they stay in the sun too long, and they can also blush. So Rembrandt here and both our green wings are usually pretty cool, calm, and collected, so they don't blush very often. But if you check out Dolly and Da Vinci, our 2 great greens, they're always excited about something. So their faces are always a little bit pink. So I think it's pretty funny how they can blush. Now, the other thing about their face is on their, where they have the feathers, and the feathers coming in kind of like in a, they all have like unique patterns of how their feathers go in the different feather tracks. And a lot like a human thumbprint, each macaws has a different kind of pattern on their face where you could actually tell them apart if you like had an exact mapping of their face, the feathers on their face. So I think it's pretty cool that they're like that. Now working with these macaws is pretty fun because these birds live in large flocks in the wild, and by working with them every day, we become part of their flock. So these guys, they have very distinct and different personalities between all of them. And just like you and I, they actually get along with different people at varying levels. So Rembrandt here is pretty good about working for everyone pretty good. He's really good about being indifferent and neutral with everyone, except for Helen. Helen's his favorite. Otherwise, he's pretty good about just flying and working with everyone. Oh, are you still eating your grape? Or are you just playing with it? He's playing with his grape. Did anyone ever teach you it's not good to play with your food, Rembrandt? Alright, buddy, one more flight. Yeah? So, like I said, they have different personalities and like different trainers at various levels. And then the next bird coming out, Dolly, she's one of my favorite macaws. And because of that, I'm also one of her favorite trainers. And the cool thing about that is the way that me and Dolly became friends. So it's kind of a funny story how me and Dolly became buds. Rembrandt's a little bit hot today. Is that one day we were flying Dolly outside and she saw a duck land on a pond. And she saw, man, I seen that duck on a pond. I think I want to go ahead and try to one-up that duck. AKA, it means that she crash landed on a pond. And I was the one to pull her out of the pond. There goes Rembrandt. He did pretty good today. He got a little bit warm. And he definitely appreciates their applause. Actually, applause gets the macaws really excited. They like attention from people. So Dolly crashed landed on the pond, and I was the one to pull her out of the water. And ever since then, we've been best buds. So I really love we have a kind of a special relationship. I helped her out of a sticky situation. So, admittedly, Picasso, our blue and gold macaw, I worked with her for about 2 years, and then I don't know what I did. I don't know if I changed my haircut, or my deodorant, or my shampoo. I don't know what it was, but for whatever reason, Picasso doesn't want to work for me anymore. And that's okay. We don't make our birds do anything that they don't want to do. If they choose to do what we ask, they get treats. If they don't choose to do what we ask, they're not punished in any way, shape, or form. So I don't work with Picasso anymore, which is kind of weird. I don't know exactly what I did. I've never done anything to give her to have bad will against me, but Picasso doesn't like me very much, and that's okay. I'm not offended by it. Now, you guys may recognize Dolly, our great green macaw, from when you guys came in, and that is because this year and the year before, Tracy Aviary has been raising money for the great green macaws, because these guys are actually endangered in the wild. And the reason that they're endangered in the wild is due to the fact that they depend heavily on one species of tree, and that is the mountain almond tree. So they depend really heavily on this species of tree because they depend on it for both food, they eat the almonds, as well as they make their nests in the cavities of these trees. So these guys make their nests in these trees, and these trees were really heavily logged for a long time because they have a really good hardwood that was good for making furniture. But thanks to conservation, the Costa Rican government has actually outlawed the logging of the trees. That's where these are found, in the rainforest of Costa Rica. And this species acts as a really excellent flagship species. And what that means is by raising awareness and protecting these macaws and protecting their habitat, you in turn protect thousands of other plants and animals, because you protect these guys and all their surrounding areas. The rainforest is such a diverse place that you protect a lot of other species of animals and plants. So it's a really awesome project, one that we're proud to be a part of. They're hatching them in captivity and then re-releasing them in the wild. So we're really proud to be a part of that conservation project. Now, a lot of times when people come to the aviary and they see our macaws flying around and being all charming, they think, man, it'd be really fun to have a macaw as a pet. And like I told you guys, Dolly's my favorite macaw, and I love her to death. but I would not recommend or even want one as a pet myself. And that's for a few reasons. Macaws can be extremely loud. Now, macaws in the wild can be heard from up to 3 miles away in the rainforest. So when we first had Dolly and Da Vinci in here on exhibit, they were in our rare bird exhibit, and we had neighbors complain about how loud they were, and also co-workers on their days off. They could hear them from their homes, the ones that live walking distance. And then they can be really destructive as well. We give them lots of toys and like plant material to chew on, because they just have like a natural inclination to chew on stuff. So if you had like wood furniture, they would destroy that. And then the biggest challenge with macaws is they just require lots of attention. So we try to give them as much attention as possible. They also have each other to give each other attention because they have that flock mentality. But having a macaw as a pet is like having something with the mentality of a 2-year-old that lives to be 60 to 80 years. So on top of needing all attention, they're a really big commitment because they live to be 60 to 80 years old in captivity. They live a really long time. Now, I'm not trying to tell you guys what to do or not to do. I just always recommend when getting any pets is to do your research, because different species of animals require different amount of attention, need different amount of space, live varying amounts of time. So I always just recommend doing your research, because getting a macaw as a pet is a really big investment. All these macaws being under 10 years old, they're probably going to outlive all of their trainers here right now.